Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how are you today? Well, in today's video, we're having a discussion. And this discussion is about farmers and the value of their crops. Yeah. As a gardener, I know how valuable my garden is. And I know that what my garden is nothing compared to what farmers actually do, okay? The hard work and everything that goes into it, okay? But someone is offering farmers 1.5 times the value of their crops if they destroy those crops. And if they decline this offer, the people that offered this offer will stop all farm subsidies for refusing this offer. Now, please excuse me for having to kind of like beat around the bush, okay? Because you know that I know that you know that I know I can get in trouble, right? So there is a video that I'm going to attach at the end so you can hear it for yourself, okay? There's I don't know if this is like a company or like a farming company. It's HOLODOMOR 2.0. I'm just going to read it to you, okay? So you can try and make sense of it, all right? This Holodomor, HOLODOMOR 2.0. It can happen again. The same people that have brought you hundreds of millions of DEAD last century using famine are in power now in the US and most of the world. They used food as a weapon in places like Ukraine and the former Soviet Union, and now they're going to try and do the same here in the USA. The Potato administration announced on Wednesday, April 21st, that it would expand a program that pays farmers to leave land fallow, part of a broader government-wide effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030. Keep that year in mind. We keep hearing about the year 2030 when it comes to a lot of things, right? The new initiative will incentivize farmers to take land out of production by raising rental rates and incentive payments. The CRP, or Conservation Reserve Program, was created in 1985 to incentivize landowners to leave some of their marginal land unplanted, a plan meant to protect the environment by, excuse me, reducing agricultural runoff into streams and rivers, preserving wildlife habitats, and preventing erosion. And today, the Department of Agriculture, or USDA, rents about 21 million acres of farmland from landowners, typically for 10 years at a time. A tiny fraction of the total land farmed nationwide. Why do I hear a little bell going, Billy boy, Billy boy, Billy boy? I don't know. In recent years, the number of acres enrolled in CRP has fallen, possibly because USDA's rental payments allegedly have not been competitive within the open market. The new announcement is a bid to incentivize farmers to enroll 4 million more acres of land in the program to total 25 million acres, the current program limit. Sometimes the best solutions are right in front of you, said Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack in a press release. A huge amount of money was essentially paid and then lost when those acres go back into farming. All told, the increased rental rates and expanded incentive payments, which pay farmers extra for growing buffer strips and promoting wildlife habitats, will increase CRP spending about 18%, totaling $300 million or more in annual spending. Overall, we think the changes are good, but also they could still be better, said Ann Schechinger. I'll spell it. Schechinger. She's the senior economic analyst with the Environmental Working Group. Now, CRP typically only takes land out of production for 10 years at a time, and many farmers opt not to renew after a decade. Many of the environmental benefits are erased as soon as the soil is plowed under and crops are replanted. Schechinger published a report that found almost 16 million acres were taken out of the reserve between 2007 and 2014 after landowners opted not to re-rent them to the USDA. The government has spent more than $7 billion to preserve those acres. A huge amount of money was essentially paid and then lost when those acres go back into farming. Well, the farmers want their land back. Do you blame them? I certainly wouldn't. Asked about this issue in a press call on Thursday, April 22nd, Vilsack was vague. The key here is to make sure that we continue to have a commitment to CRP as one strategy, one of many strategies, he said. An acre here may change, but there may be additional acres over there that weren't in a program that are in a program. Over time, you make significant improvement toward a net zero future. So far, there's been little motion from Vilsack's office and the Democrat-controlled Congress on mandatory regulations designed to mitigate agricultural environmental impact. To be clear, conservation is still a good thing, even if it only lasts for 10 years, Schechinger said. But from a climate perspective, plowing up land that has lain fallow for a decade will release a lot of carbon that was sequestered in the soil. She'd like to see an expansion of the Clear 30, and that's one word, C-L-E-A-R 30. So if you wanted to type that in, it's all capital letters, C-L-E-A-R, and then 30, okay? and that's a pilot program, which rents land for 30 years at a time. Wow, instead of 10, it's now 30. And requires farmers to implement water-friendly conservation measures. Other measures, like slightly higher payments for acreage that has been kept out of production for one 10-year cycle, could further incentivize long-term conservation. To date, the Potato Administration has focused on voluntary incentives-based programs like CRP to address climate change and the environment in the farming sector. Other Democrats have favored a less business-friendly approach. Now, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, because, yeah, him, introduced a moratorium on the construction of new concentrated animal feeding operations in 2019, which emit the potent greenhouse gas methane. And Senator Bernie Sanders, feel the burn, championed broader enforcement of the Clean Air and Clean Water Acts during his presidential campaign. But so far, there's been little motion from Vilsack's office and the Democrat-controlled Congress on mandatory regulations designed to mitigate agriculture's environmental impact. Now, I really think regulations are the only way we're going to accomplish anything, Schinger said. We can keep doing some voluntary CRP is good. Retiring land is a great thing. But it's not going to be enough to get us where we need to be with mitigating climate change. Now, we see the unimaginable actual plan. Pay farmers 1.5 times the value of their crops to destroy them, or cut those farmers off from the farming subsidies if they refuse to destroy the crops. And this will allow, without fail, a great food shortage. This is tyranny, and it is coming after our food. That makes it represents a clear and present danger to our families. And when faced with a clear and present danger, people have a right to defend themselves by whatever means necessary. This is insane. I'm going to add in that clip, okay? So you just hang on just a minute. I love you.
Got talking today, and something came up that I didn't really think about when my dad mentioned it to me. He's worked in the agriculture industry for over 40 years. This year, farmers are being offered 1.5 times the value of their crops to destroy them. They're also being told by the federal government they will not receive subsidies for farming if they refuse to destroy their crops. What does that mean? That means that the farmer cannot afford to provide you with food based upon the taxes the government is levying on him if the government doesn't in turn give him back his tax money to provide you with food. Kind of a fucked up system, but that's how it works. And, well, they're not going to subsidize them if they don't destroy the crops. They'll pay them more than what it's worth, and they want them to destroy it, and they'll still get their subsidies. They're trying to create a food shortage. We've got 8 months to get our own food supply. We're probably going to be facing mass starvation. Good luck.